Hey everyone, here's my review for The Other Guys starring Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. Now, I couldn't wait for this film, mostly because it's directed by Adam McKay and it also has Will Ferrell, so that has to mean something, right? Because if you don't know, they made Anchorman, one of my favorite comedies, Talladega Nights, one of my favorite comedies, and Step Brothers, which isn't one of my favorite comedies, but I think it's a pretty funny one overall. Not great, like it has some hit and miss here, like I would give it like a 7.5 or something. But, it's not a bad one, it's definitely funny. And now he's made this one, and I couldn't wait for this one, mostly because of the duo, which is probably one of the weirdest duos ever, Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. Now, it didn't really surprise me much because Will Ferrell has always been making jokes about Mark Wahlberg being badass, so seeing them in a movie now is no surprise because Will Ferrell, for some reason, he's a big enough name to go, hey Mark, I love all your movies, will you be in my movie? Well, Adam McKay would say that, but whatever. Anyway, what did I think of The Other Guys? I don't know. I don't even know. Let's get into the review, and then so I can find out too. Oh, I can't wait. Okay, now the story of The Other Guys is pretty simple and not the best of its genre, but for a cop buddy, action film, it's okay. It's pretty much follows the other guys, pretty much, of the precinct, who are the people that either had something in their past that brought them down from being a great cop, or just one that just wants to be a desk jockey and doesn't want to be a freaking, I don't know, John McClane, okay? So, one is played by Mark Wahlberg, who is the one that had something in his past that screwed his cop life up pretty badly, and the other is Will Ferrell, who just wants to be a desk jockey, which is funny. Which it would be funny if it was opposite, where Will Ferrell wants to be a badass. Anyway, so pretty much what happens: the two badass cops that are in that precinct, something happens to them, and they pretty much take it into that they have to become those guys. I don't know. So the other guys becomes the guys, I guess. Whatever. Story's okay. I didn't describe it all that great, but whatever. They pretty much go out and figure crimes, and they get the mystery machine. They got a dog that can speak. I don't know how that works. So, yeah. And they got some douchebag and ascot. So, yeah. There you go. That's the story. I think it's pretty good. So let's go on to besides the part with the dog and the mystery machine. That's actually great, but that's not in the film. Anyway, let's go on to the acting of the film. Okay, now the acting in the film was actually really good, I have to admit. Will Ferrell is Will Ferrell, and I always will love Will Ferrell. I don't care what you say. By the way, I said his name 3 times, and he did not pop up, okay, like Beetlejuice, so don't worry about that. And he will always be funny, I think. I mean, every movie he has to have at least one line that's funny, okay? It's not going to be a whole movie where he's not funny. And he's hilarious in this. Mark Wahlberg is also really hilarious. I could definitely buy him as a comedic star now. I mean, I saw The Happening, and that was hilarious, but not in the intentional way, but not really in the intentional way. It was funny, but I want it to be funny and supposed to be funny, not funny and supposed to be serious. He was really funny in this. Let me just say that. Steve Coogan, I usually like Steve Coogan. In this one, he's not as funny as I hope, but he's still pretty funny. Michael Keaton was really, really funny as the boss. I mean, I'm just happy to see Michael Keaton back, but I was thinking about a line that he had in one of his other jobs that he has in the film, and it's pretty freaking hilarious. Eva Mendes usually pisses me off in films, but she was actually really funny in that. She plays Will Ferrell's wife in it, and just think about that. Okay, Will Ferrell's wife is Eva Mendes in the film, and that's pretty much a whole joke throughout the film, pretty much, with Mark Wahlberg's character. And Ray Stevenson, who plays pretty much the evil guy, I guess, kinda. He's the evilish guy, and he plays that very well. He did that in Book of Eli. He played the Punisher in Punisher Warzone, and he did that in freaking The Vampire's Assistant, whatever that freaking movie was. I keep saying freak. Anyway, yeah, whatever. The acting overall was actually really, really good, I have to admit. So yeah, there you go. Let's go on to overall. What did I think of this movie overall? Oh, forgot to also mention in the acting that Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Samuel L. Jackson's also in the movie, so they're very short roles, so you can easily forget that they're in the movie, but they're actually pretty funny, I have to admit. So if you've seen the trailer, you saw their roles, so don't expect a really huge role for them. They're both in about 30, not 30 seconds, about 3 minutes each. So, yeah, that's it, really. There you go. Let's go on to overall. Now, overall, I have to admit, it's not my favorite Adam McKay and Will Ferrell movie I have ever seen, but it's definitely close. I like Anchorman a little bit more, and I probably like this just as much as Talladega Nights. This is a really funny movie. I was very happy to see that this movie was getting great reviews. It was being well liked in the theater. Everybody was laughing, and I have to admit, it's probably one of my favorite comedies of this year. Only because I'm not gonna give it as high as from Get Him to the Greek, mostly because it didn't have as many laughs. But I have to admit, I like the characters more in this movie. I like the actual story a little bit more in this movie, and I can see myself coming back to it only because it's fun, not just because it's funny. Uh, so unlike Get Him to the Greek was fun, but just not as fun as this. That was a road trip movie. I like more action, buddy cop movies than I would say road trip movies. So I'm comparing it to that because that's my other favorite. That was my other favorite comedy of the year, and Hot Tub Time Machine. This year has so many great comedies, and this is another one. And I have to admit, this is probably one of my favorites. This is one I'm gonna remember for a little while until the next Adam McKay, Will Ferrell movie. Hopefully, Mark Wahlberg will be in that one too, because he's actually really, really funny. So overall, if I had to give this a score, I'd give it an 8.9 out of 10. I really like this one. Not quite a 9, but 8.9 is really good. And remember, I'm being serious, so 8.9 is really good. You have to go check it out. It's a very funny, very fun movie, and it has a lot of characters that I can't wait to see these characters again, pretty much. So, yeah, there you go. I'm done, and bye.